have you ever seen where people say that Need for Speed Underground 2 created takeover culture?
I think there's too many people that like Need for Speed Underground that hate takeover stuff.
Everybody always says we're sponsored by Kenda, and then today Kenda made a joke that they're going to drop us as a sponsor, which was a mistake because nobody trolls harder than us. So we decided to dress the entire podcast studio up in Kenda. All right, we have cups. Okay, they don't hold 2 beers, which I find troubling, but it'll hold 1. I have this hat. He's got this hat. He's wearing an OG Kenda hat.
Put a random lanyard on here.
Yeah, that one rides around with me all day. That's off my keychain. And then we have the shirts. And then Dawson made this, which says unofficially presented by Kenda Tires, or from Ed at Kenda Tires. That way, if anybody gets fired, it's you. All right. So let's do this thing.
Love you, Ed. And this is Chris. So I'll let him introduce himself.
What's up, guys? I'm Chris Anderton Holt from Shelbyville, Tennessee, local boy, like these guys. Just been into cars for, I don't know, ever since the Need for Speed Underground days. You know, everybody kind of gets started somehow or another, and mine was just video games, I guess. And just kind of grew that into the passion and what I do today.
This one's not on there, but I just thought of this. Have you ever seen where people say that Need for Speed Underground 2 created takeover culture? Have you seen people say that? I've seen a bunch of people say that, so that's why I'm curious. I don't think that because I played that game, and I think that's fucking lame.
Yeah, I don't see the whole like.
It's like saying Call of Duty.
It's like saying Call of Duty breeds school shooters. Like, that's really far fetched. That's a very big stretch to say that. Like, kids sure they play the game, okay, but that doesn't instill that kind of mental thing in their head.
Yeah, I don't see where that clicks.
I don't either. I was just curious what your thoughts were because I read that and I was always like, I don't think so. But then I've read it a couple times and I'm like, I don't know, maybe they're wrong.
I've seen people say it, but I don't know. I don't think it's real.
I think there's too many people that like Need for Speed Underground that hate takeover stuff that would stand up for that and say, okay.
I don't think so.
No.
I think it's too many people just over their head.
Oh, for sure. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So, who are you? What's your car? I already said who you are, but what's your car? What's your setup? Give us a rundown on the car.
So I have a 93 S13. It's a coupe. I've had that car for 4.5, 5 years now. It started out it wasn't even running, didn't have a motor in it or anything like that. It was just a piece of junk car that had like literally nothing. I don't even think it had a welded diff.
How dare you call a 240 junk?
No, seriously, it had a shark on the side of it when I got it.
Yeah, I remember.
So that was kind of cool. It didn't have anything. Had like almost no interior. I got it for like $900 as a rolling shell, and then probably, I don't know, 6 months after I bought that, I went and found a KA24 that was just like bone stock. Really wasn't anything done to it, so I could just put that in the car and then try to get it ready to drive. And I really had no experience at the time. I had only built street cars before that. I had a couple of 240s in the past, and then I had like a 370Z like stance car for a while. And
put a picture of that car in here. That was a good looking car.
I do miss that car, and like I hear that it's in really bad condition now, and that makes me really sad because I love that car. Like, I spent so much money on, like, I had 3-piece wheels, you know, I had all this kind of fancy stuff, had it tuned and everything, and like it was a really nice car. But I would go to Import Alliance shows and then like just park the car and VIP or whatever, and people just come by and look at it, you know, and you just stand there all day, or you might walk around or something. And to me, that's just like really boring after a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cool to be in the spotlight for a minute, but and I kind of got tired of it. And so I wanted to do something, you know, behind the wheel of a car or do something with a car. And I'd always been like a fan of drifting since it started, but I never really like had the money or whatever to get into it. But I would go to Import Alliance and see when they would do like drift demos and stuff like that. And I did a couple of ride-alongs, you know, a couple of years running, and it just kind of like got me hooked and wanting to do it myself. So that's when I got rid of the Z and then kind of wanted to go a different route. Picked up the 240, got it running. My buddy Philip Gordon kind of I went with him to like our first event in Clarksville, and he had this like trashy Lexus.
Philip Trashy?
Oh, the GS?
Yeah.
I remember
It had a 1JZ in it.
It was that horrible green color, tan
2JZ.
interior. It was heavy.
It was the stuff we had to go through to get that car, man. It was like we had cut springs, and it was like we have a picture of it where it's like toting the left front wheel coming down the hill at Clarksville. It was just like a different kind of car than what we should have been starting out in, right? It was the worst platform you can think to learn in. That was that car. So, but it was a start. So he drove it for a little while, and I got a couple laps in, but like I just didn't have the funds available at the time to get my car running. So it took me about another 6 months to get the car that I had drivable, and by then the season was pretty much over. So the following year, when the season started up again, I was able to like take the car out and drive, and I got a couple of events in. And then
what'd you struggle with most whenever you first started?
For me, probably just confidence, honestly. Like I felt like I could do it because I enjoyed like racing four-wheelers and stuff like that. And like I knew I had the ability, but I didn't have like you can do this, you know. I just thought, you know, I would mess up or something. Yeah, I was like, I can do this in my head, but like I didn't have I would spin out or something, and then I would just like put myself down. Like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this.
See, that's because he's smart. See, I don't have that, bro. I'm dumb. I'm just like, I got this, even if I don't got this, you know?
It was like there's a definite learning curve, but
for sure.
I think starting out in a car that had basically nothing done to it except a welded diff was a big plus for me.
Yeah.
Instead of starting out like when I met you, your first event was in a car that was, I mean, it was years ahead of my car. Now I know you had a lot of experience on the sim and stuff like that, but I think it really paid off to have to start in a low powered, like nothing done to it.
I
car.
agree with that too.
Yeah.
I've always said that. Start out low power, simple car, and it'll teach you actually how to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
I'm not knocking the fact that people start out with built cars. I think that's great too if you can do that.
Yeah. I think it depends on your motorsports experience. I swear to God, we have this conversation every single podcast.
Yeah.
But that's the truth, is that it depends on your motorsports experience. Like if you have, like, what do I have on? I think I have like, I swear I think it's like, you know, 2,700 hours on a Seto. Like just drifting, not grip, not F1 driving, you know, nothing like weird, like just straight up drifting.
Just slide in the car.
Just slide in the car. I have like 2,700 hours doing that. And then when I built my car, I went to my first event, and I mean, like, yeah, I fucking broke the shit out of it, which I think that's part of the keep the car as plain as you can. But I think I did pretty good. I never spun out, and I did the track. I